Hey, how is everyone doing? In this video, instead of drawing girl OCs, we're actually going to dive into some of my male OCs. In my comic, there certainly is male characters, but since I still have to introduce them before their appearance, I will still hide them from the public. We're also going to talk about a topic that has to do with motivation and having fun with art and getting things done. So I hope you're ready for that. These are the characters we're going to be drawing. This is Kazuya and this is Ion, and they're in love. I think for the half year, I remember having the same problem in Christmas time already, that I really just realized that I don't have a male couple. I don't have an OC male couple, and I really want to one. Kazuya and Ion are like the third couple I was trying to design, but for some reason, I don't know if it's my high standards with myself or what the hecky, but I wasn't happy with the first couple, and the second couple, I actually started a mini comic about them. But for some reason, I just kind of got lost what their character dynamic was and what their characters was. Like actually their personality. Like I spent a lot of time doing research, actual research, to figure out like how they are, because they were called Tonrak and Liang, and they were both like, I got inspiration for both of them from mythology, different mythologies. But then when it came to plan out how they will meet and how they will fall in love and all the fluff that would follow, I had no idea. I felt so blank. So yeah, that's why I ended up trying again, and here's Kazuya and Ion, and I really like them. They're both very awkward. Kazuya, as I don't know if it's very apparent or not apparent at all, but Kazuya is supposed to be an Oni and also a samurai. And in fact, he comes from a lineage of Oni samurais that have been a part of a community of a small town somewhere in a place their story takes place. I have no, it's just a town, you know. And Ion is actually a half siren and half human. Basically, his father was a siren that tempted a human woman. I don't have much of his parents' backstory figured out, but I just decided that his father is kind of problematic because Ion, for whatever reason, can't swim, but he still goes to see his father under the sea. So yeah, I have this whole pile of comic I've drawn about Kazuya and Ion. So let me organize these, because I was drawing this yesterday and oh dear, I have to organize these. These are all over the place. Let me see the key points of what happens, because in 20 pages they're only attending a festival second time together, and that's they're just getting to know each other. So I suppose I ended up writing a slow burn of relationship, although at the very first drafts they had like just fell in love instantly. I have a one night stand or something like this, but now I ended up writing this really nice slow burn understanding love story for them. Anyway, so this is the first page. Ooh. So right here, in the first page, Kazuya just finds Ion from the beach unconscious, and he takes him back to his aunt that Ion lives with. And then Kazuya, of course, remembers that he saved Ion, but Ion doesn't really remember Kazuya. And the aunt, because Kazuya just brought him to his aunt's, to Ion's aunt's doorstep, and then Ion is like, "Hey aunt, did you see the samurai that saved me?" And the aunt is like, "No." Ion is trying to figure out whether it was Kazuya who saved him, based on several rumors he's heard about this Oni samurai heir that Kazuya is. So yeah, there's them just being adorable and figuring what's the other trying to do. And here they're watching fireworks and talking about the rumors. Anyway, I'm not going to go in through the whole comic because I just I just did it for myself. I should really introduce their baby. This is their child, Mao, and she's going to be born at some point. So that's their outfits, and that's Mao. And I actually did I didn't color Mao there, but I actually did them in daily clothes. I still have little ideas to what those scars that I added to Kazuya's neck could be from, or are they tattoos? I don't know. I think I've meant to do them as scars, but who knows. This is the very first draft I made into digital here, like this very sketch. I had some issues figuring out what kind of hair I wanted Ion to have, but I'm happy that I ended up this curly mess. I really like how it looks like. I like to pretend that I always do the neck and shoulders part on male characters correctly, but I probably am doing it a bit wrong anyway. It's good to practice your anatomy. So since Kazuya is an Oni, he has the kind of, I guess, I'm not like, Kazuya is my first Oni character ever that I try to actually make Oni character. Maybe before I've drawn characters with these kind of big teeth or with this kind of ears, but I am not 100% if that's correct Oni ear. Are they smaller or larger? I don't know, but he is an Oni. He looks like this. Yes. I admit I didn't do much research on creating a proper Oni character. Like let's see, if he is not really expressive like this, like I suppose his teeth could perhaps still be shown or show. I don't know. But yes, something I wanted to talk about in this video was the fact that I want to make a video at some point where I go through my old comics. I used to make comics just by pretty much improvising. Like, I would maybe think of an idea and some characters, maybe even just a protagonist and some maybe ideas for side characters, and then I would just draw. I would take a pen, take a piece of paper, and then just go with it, and then make it up as I go. With this webcomic, I really was determined to actually write the story beforehand. The webcomic is something I really want to dive into, and rather than improvising, I really just want to be systematic when I'm making it. Like with these comics that I used to do, I was having so much fun just improvising something, and they would most of them would just end after a few pages. But then I also, because I've tried to write several comic stories before, and I may get into those projects. So there's like 2 major projects that I have planned out more the characters, planned out more the story. I don't remember the other was something like Chaos something. I remember the main character was called Chaos, and I really loved him back in 2016, 17 maybe. And the other project I did during my last years in DeviantArt, which was there wasn't too much time between these 2 projects, but the other one was Paratiritria. I would love to tell you more about those projects someday. Of course, it's true what they say about creating stories, either if you write it or either if you just you draw and write. That's like double the job, especially if you're doing it like by your own, like you're not with a team. Like some people have the benefit of publishing a comic when you have a team of people who all have different roles and all that. So I don't have that, so yes, a lot of work. The point I want to talk about more is to tell you about this project, actually this Kazuya and Ion love story that doesn't have a name really. I think I'll figure out some kind of title in a, like just something randomly. I'm having so much fun just creating and improvising, and maybe something like it's not like totally just randomly throwing speech in speech bubbles and hoping it works. I actually try to go back to other pages and figure out if the characters stay consistent, whether what they're saying in the new pages make any sense compared to what they said in previous pages. But I am having so much fun, and it's so stress-free to just create and like this, because this project doesn't have a goal. My webcomics goal is to actually, I want to showcase everything that I've created for these past 3 years. And it has like a more meaning and I've even tried to maybe convey some messages in that story and maybe in those characters too. But this is just something very easy. This is just something very easygoing. I don't give a heck what happens, and I just want them to be happy and raise a family. And yeah, I just want my fluff. In my webcomic there's going to be some fluff moments, but it's going to be a rather serious story all in all. So it looks like a dinosaur. these mini comics or snack comics, as I like to call them, that just happen like in a few weeks, that I'm obsessed with them and draw them, and then I may quit after a few pages or few tens of pages or something like that. Like these are kind of like a break for me to just like dive in to a character, dive into characters and dive into the process of creating comic pages, because I really like creating comics. I've always liked drawing stories that I can read later. It's really like what I've noticed since I've worked with this comic compared to these kind of more casual drawings. It's much easier for me to get into a flow state of drawing rather than just drawing these simple drawings, because I think when I'm so hyper focused on what I'm doing and what is the composition, how is everything going to plan out, is there too much text, my mind is so occupied at by all kinds of different elements that it's just, yeah, it gives me into this flow state, and I might stay there for a couple of hours or so. What I want to say, like with all this rambly and talk about my own experiences, is that so much passion goes into planning the project. Then when it becomes about like actually doing it, actually drawing it, actually telling it, actually telling the story, there's no, I don't want to do it. I think it's all about the mindset, how you like make it for yourself. Like with this, I had only few goals and I get so much done. Could be that maybe I'm just that type of person who would rather have few guidelines and just figuring out the rest myself. I think I'm just going to switch into line art and then add details and all that, so. I'll come back to you once maybe I'll still add some details, and then I'll wait for the ink to dry a bit. So here we have the finished illustration. I actually added some details to Kazuya's jacket over here and some details to more flowers on Ion's hair and just more details to his outfit. And I also added a ponytail to Kazuya, which is something I did consider like when I was designing his hair, because for some reason designing hair for male characters is the one thing I That's one of my biggest problems with male characters if I'm planning to do them myself. It's like what kind of hair they have. I think when they've been married for a little while, he has this tiny ponytail. To end this video on the message I want to send to you is that please indulge yourself with OCs and comics, and please have fun. Do everything and anything you can to get in the flow state, whatever you want to do. If it's something that you really like to do, you just do it. If you like painting, dive yourself into a couple of hours on painting something, or draw comics like I do, or if these kinds of illustrations and focusing on adding details and all that, if it's what it takes for you to get in the flow stage of creating, that's just fantastic. You go do that. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!